Hey, Desiree here with Soul Path Astrology and this week's Oracle card readings. Welcome to video one. And welcome to this week. Yeah, so we're just coming through a couple of really important astrological events. One was the full moon in um, Libra, that is really like, oh, it's touching on the relationship stuff. Full moons are completions. And then on top of that, we finally have the last of the personal planets, last of all the planets actually turning retrograde or turning direct at last. We're finally going to start feeling some forward momentum in so many areas of our life. And I really want to just jump into this card. Before I do, though, always, if you find value, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, all that good stuff. Okay, let's talk about this card because this week's readings are like, they're crunchy. So here's yours. You got the Devil card upright. This is such an interesting card because, I mean, there's a lot of ways of interpreting it, but generally speaking, the most broad strokes way is when we are misaligned with the fuel that fuels us, when we are using caffeine or any other kind of stimulant, frankly, or maybe the opposite, we're using alcohol, some kind of a, something to soothe, to take the edge off, instead of arriving for where we actually are. This is something that the devil card points towards. And so, considering what's going on with the Astros right now, I want to invite you into what behavior do you have that is just, you're ready to just let it go as you step into this new week, into this new astrological energy of this spring, as we're moving forward into more and more like a quickening of the energy as the plants start to come through the soil and our energy starts to bubble up. What are you ready to finally be done with and to let go because you know it's holding you back? This is also a misappropriation of the flow of energy. It's connected to what I've said, where it's like I'm trying to draw from something externally to bolster my sense of okayness or to allow myself to push through my natural boundaries. The devil card is when we're using our ego to drive ourselves instead of our divine inspiration. It's when we're using fear to push ourselves forward rather than being inspired through some kind of like excitement. And it's not to be confused with self-discipline, which is sometimes you do got to push yourself a little bit past or a little through some resistance, but there's learning to discern the difference of where that feels. Like the difference between a self-discipline that's supportive and it's actually in service to your highest, your greatest and highest, versus artificially either dulling or trying to jack yourself to force yourself into doing or continuing something that's not serving you. I have a deep dive on this. That really it connects with the Lovers card, but this is like the opposite. So rather than the feminine looking towards spirit, right? Where the masculine doing is inspired by the feminine heart that is connected to spirit. In the devil card, everything is, they're disconnected. They're not looking at each other. It's the devil card. It's our shadow material. It's anti-life. And the invitation in this is, can you transmute that? Can you convert that into light, into life, into something that brings you in a genuine forward momentum kind of energy? And none of the tarot is meant to be an opportunity for self-condemnation or self-judgment. It's an invitation into self-knowledge and forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and recognizing all the things that we do. Like usually it's in an attempt to do something good, but it's coming from force and it isn't healthy. It's not good for you. And so with this card, if it was your choice, like it's okay to let the stuff go. And if you need help with that, then get help with that. Like, it's often, these are like deep-seated habits. Often we're not even aware of the underlying trauma or the underlying disconnect. Like there's this profound spiritual disconnect that as a species, because we've been predicating our whole existence on the storyline of separation, the storyline of there's nature and then there's us. Like that misunderstanding of the storyline and the separation that causes, that like soul deep longing for some kind of reconnection, that we have just been filling that hole with everything under the sun except the very thing that's going to bring us home. Because to be home in our bodies, to be home in relationship, to be home in our planet, in our lives, like actually rooted in our lives, requires mess, and it requires a high degree of vulnerability, and it requires a quality of having to overcome this almost existential terror of disappearing if you were to really show up, if you were to really drop into your feelings and really show up for the present moment and really be profoundly honest. The devil card can point towards the places where we're being dishonest with ourselves, or where we're trying to keep ourselves separated in a kind of an ivory tower, if you will, and avoid real intimacy. Like that's really at the fundamental. So the Lovers card, they're all looking at each other. There's this depth of intimacy. It's opposite. The Devil card, there's no intimacy. Even the devil isn't even looking at them. Like nobody is connecting. The heart is not communicating with the head. The heart is not communicating with spirit. There's no intimacy. There's no vulnerability. And that, if this was your card, like where might you be avoiding arriving for what's true for you, for your real self, in the name of self-protection, or in the name of habits you've cultivated because in the past to be deeply truthful or deeply vulnerable or deeply exposed, maybe your feelings were used against you in the past. Maybe you've learned to play your cards close to your chest because to do otherwise had poor outcomes for you. And so where are there some of these habits that you developed before, when you were in an environment that lacked, you were a child and you couldn't stand up for yourself, or you lacked perspective or capacity to speak your truth or to have your back? What are those habits that you cultivated during that phase that are now coming up for your awareness so you can release them, because they are no longer serving you? They're absolutely handicapping you. They're absolutely keeping you separated from your heart, from your spirit, from your the life that you came here to live in its richness and its fullness. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. I'm glad I finally dropped in. As always, my sweet and wonderful friends, know that you are doing such a beautiful job on this journey. I'm so grateful to share this space, this time, and this energetic container with you. If you want a personalized just for you reading with me, where we can deep dive, or we can explore some coaching or tools or whatever it is that's most needed for you, I would love to do something. You can connect with me as a DM, or you can find the link to my calendar below. Let's just set something up and help you feel supported in a container that is designed to help you feel safe to drop into those raw places and bring up and find your own strength and courage to show up and arrive for yourself in a way that you never have before. The world needs you. It needs you all here. It needs you all in, and it needs you all open. So love you. I hope that you enjoy your week. And in the meantime, we'll see you next Tuesday.